All right. Well, let's zero in now on Tesla's stock. Joining me now is Craig Irwin, Roth Capital Senior Research Analyst. He's got a buy rating, $395 price target on the stock. Craig, I want to play a soundbite for you from the earlier part of we don't have it? All right. Well, one of the things that Elon Musk talked about was a model for self-driving and a service along with it that's a combination of Airbnb and Uber. In other words, people would be able to lease or buy their car and then rent it out to self-drive and drive people around. How likely is that in the way that you're modeling? And how big of a disruption to the entire industry would that be?
So it's in the hopes and dreams. It is not in the financial model. So that would be tremendously disruptive. That would be, a straight path to wild success of his autonomous initiatives. So, it's something he's working on. It's something he's put a lot of passion into and a lot of engineering dollars behind. But I don't think Wall Street's expecting that before the end of 26 or probably even before the end of 2030. Maybe 2030, we some people are expecting it, but I think consensus expectations are that we have a car that actually works better than Waymo on the road pretty soon, right? Small number of weeks. And he set the expectation, hundreds of thousands of cars by the end of next year. I don't think anyone was expecting that. I think, tens of thousands is probably more in the range of what Wall Street's been looking for, which would be a fantastic success. So the whole idea of like an Airbnb-like app, that's Musk stepping into the picture, pointing at, really where he wants to go and where he's spending his time to actually handle the problems to get there.
And my understanding of what he said was hundreds of thousands of cars that would be full self-driving capable, not necessarily in that network and doing rides. But in your view, I know you got a $395 price target and a buy on Tesla right now. I think that's right. Is Tesla better off now than it was before November based on these moves that Elon Musk has been making in government?
So I will say today you had Elon Musk at his very best twice, right? You got to see very clearly why the investing public is a big believer in what he reaches for, right? This is a man that's done it successfully, transformed the future of transportation, check, right? So now, everybody knows PayPal and his other successes behind him. But, when we look at his vision of Occupy Mars, heck, people forgot that this is the guy that rescued our astronauts from the space station after another launch partner had actually failed to pick them up for, many months. So, people are starting to see his vision, how he's stepping into it. This is very good for Tesla. It's good for the overall enthusiasm around this company. And it's an emerging growth type valuation on this stock, given the massive size of Optimus and AI and autonomous. And, that means we need communications like this.
What about the way investors should measure robotaxi success? I believe what Elon is saying is 10 Teslas in Austin operating a robotaxi test network by end of June, ramping quickly from there. Waymo at the same time has authorization now to move down the Bay Area from San Francisco through the peninsula into San Jose, which is a huge population by comparison. How much is that comparison going to start coming into play and the rates of expansion rides done once robotaxi does kick off?
Hugely important. You're spot on the money. So the analysts that follow Google, that look at Waymo say the valuation there is in the tens of billions. They've only got 1,000 cars on the road. People don't talk about it, but they have 2 to 3 teleoperation engineers on every vehicle. That's 3 guys in the back seat with a joystick, making sure your ride is safe. So it's not a driver, quote unquote, but Tesla has said today that yes, they will have remote operators on their vehicles. They're going to have zero tolerance for failure. They're going to have zero tolerance for accidents. And they're going to do this in a safe way for the public. So I think Tesla can surpass Waymo very quickly, given their experience of having millions of vehicles on the road with, lower levels of autonomous and the complete control over the integration of the cars and the fact that there's been years of planning that have gone into this. What's gone in recently in this last year is more of an aggressive push, and that was what was needed.